Are you making these common mistakes in your garden? Find out what not to plant next to your peppers and what you should grow instead. Today we turn our gaze to the vibrant, often fiery pepper plant. A jewel in any garden, it too has its allies and its adversaries in the plant kingdom. Understanding these intricate connections is paramount, for the health and vigor of your pepper harvest depends on it. Many a gardener, with the best of intentions, has inadvertently created a battleground where a peaceful coexistence was hoped for. We'll uncover why some seemingly innocuous neighbors can spell trouble for your precious capsicums. It's not merely about placing a seedling in the ground, it's about understanding the community you are creating. A little knowledge here can transform a struggling plant into a bountiful provider. So, let us embark on this journey of discovery to ensure your peppers reach their full, glorious potential. Our first subject in this exploration of unfortunate pairings is the tomato. Both belong to the nightshade family, sharing a susceptibility to common pests and diseases. This shared heritage can lead to disaster in a closely planted garden. Fungal spores and pests do not discriminate between tomato and pepper plants. If one plant succumbs, its neighbor becomes an easy target. Proximity allows pathogens to spread quickly, turning a small infection into an epidemic. Aphids and other pests find both plants equally palatable. A colony on a tomato can easily migrate to a pepper, doubling the infestation. The tomato hornworm, while preferring tomatoes, will also devour pepper foliage. The shared vulnerability creates a concentrated feast for pests. Giving tomatoes and peppers their own spaces can reduce the risk of shared pests and diseases. This separation acts as a natural quarantine, significantly reducing risks. For the sake of your peppers and tomatoes, a little separation can make all the difference. Next, we turn our attention to beans, be they bush beans or pole beans. These nitrogen-fixing legumes are often lauded as beneficial companions in the garden. However, when it comes to peppers, this relationship can take an unexpectedly troublesome turn. Beans can attract unwelcome guests like aphids, which also favor pepper plants. Aphids can easily migrate from beans to nearby peppers. Peppers, especially young ones, are highly susceptible to aphid damage. These insects weaken the plant and can transmit viral diseases. Spider mites, another pest, can also thrive on bean foliage and spread to peppers. They cause stippling and yellowing of the leaves, impacting photosynthesis. Proximity increases the odds of pest migration. Careful placement and ample distance can reduce the risk. A little strategic distance can be the pepper plant's best friend when beans are also on the planting list. The fennel factor, a growth inhibitor. Our journey now leads us to a plant with a rather notorious reputation in the world of companion planting fennel. With its feathery foliage and anise-like aroma, fennel might seem an attractive addition to the garden. However, this aromatic herb harbors a secret weapon, a chemical arsenal that can be detrimental to many of its neighbors, and peppers, unfortunately, are often on its list of casualties. This is a classic case of allelopathy. Allelopathy is the phenomenon where one plant releases biochemicals into the environment that influence the germination, growth, survival, and reproduction of other organisms, often in a garden context, neighboring plants. Fennel is a powerful allelopathic plant. It exudes substances from its roots and possibly from its decaying foliage that can actively inhibit the growth of many other species. For pepper plants, this can manifest as stunted growth, reduced vigor, and lower yields. The exact mechanisms and the specific compounds involved can be complex, but the observable effect is often quite clear. Pepper plants situated too close to fennel may appear less robust, their development lagging behind those planted further away. They might struggle to establish a strong root system, or their foliage might lack the vibrant green of a healthy, thriving plant. This inhibitory effect is not immediate or dramatic like a pest infestation, but rather a slow, insidious suppression. Fennel's allelopathic compounds can persist in the soil even after the fennel plant itself has been removed, though this effect diminishes over time. This means that planting peppers in a spot where fennel has recently grown can also be problematic. It's a legacy effect, a lingering chemical signature that continues to impact subsequent plantings. Therefore, the message regarding fennel is quite clear: keep it well away from your pepper plants. This simple act of separation can be the difference between a struggling pepper plant and one that reaches its full, productive potential. The cabbage complication, a magnet for mutual foes. We now consider members of the Brassica family, commonly known as cole crops, with cabbage being a prime example. Like tomatoes, cabbage and its relatives, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, might seem like innocuous garden companions for peppers. However, a closer look reveals another instance where shared vulnerabilities can lead to increased problems for your pepper plants, primarily through the attraction of common insect pests. Cabbages are notorious for attracting a specific suite of pests, some of which are, unfortunately, quite happy to expand their diet to include nearby pepper plants. One of the most significant culprits is the aphid. Various aphid species are drawn to the succulent leaves of cabbage family plants. Once a significant aphid population establishes itself on your cabbages, it's a short journey for them to migrate to adjacent pepper plants, bringing with them all the associated problems of sap sucking, growth distortion, and potential disease transmission. Then there are the flea beetles. These tiny jumping beetles chew characteristic shot holes in the leaves of brassicas. While they have a preference for cole crops, they are known to feed on a variety of plants, including peppers, especially when young seedlings are emerging. A heavy infestation on nearby cabbages can easily spill over, causing significant stress and damage to your pepper plants, particularly in their vulnerable early stages of growth. Another pest to consider is the cabbage looper. These green caterpillars are voracious eaters of cabbage leaves, but they are not strictly specialists. If pepper plants are conveniently located, these loopers may move across to feed on pepper foliage, and in some cases even the developing fruits. The proximity of a favored food source like cabbage simply increases the likelihood of your peppers becoming collateral damage. Therefore, when planning your garden, be mindful of the company your peppers keep. The apricot apparition, a fungal threat from afar. Our final cautionary tale involves a rather different kind of neighbor, not another herbaceous vegetable but a tree, the apricot tree. It might seem unlikely that a substantial woody perennial could pose a threat to your humble pepper plants, but a specific fungal disease creates a problematic link between them, making close proximity an unwise gardening choice. The primary concern here is a fungal disease known as verticillium wilt. This is a soil-borne pathogen that affects a very wide range of host plants, numbering in the hundreds from vegetables and ornamentals to fruit trees. Apricot trees are known to be susceptible to verticillium wilt, and unfortunately so are pepper plants. The fungus invades the vascular system of the plant, clogging the water-conducting tissues and leading to wilting, yellowing, and eventual death. If an apricot tree in or near your garden is infected with verticillium wilt, its decaying leaves and roots can release fungal spores, microsclerotia, into the soil. These microsclerotia are incredibly resilient and can survive in the soil for many years, waiting for a susceptible host. If you then plant peppers in this contaminated soil, they are at high risk of contracting the disease. The tree acts as a reservoir for the pathogen. The symptoms in peppers, wilting of leaves on one side of the plant or a single branch, often starting on lower leaves and progressing upwards, yellowing and eventual browning and dieback, can be devastating. Once a plant is infected with verticillium wilt, there is no cure. The focus must be entirely on prevention, and a key aspect of prevention is avoiding planting susceptible crops in areas where the pathogen is likely to be present. Therefore, siting your pepper patch well away from any apricot trees, especially those showing any signs of ill health or those with a history of problems, is a crucial preventative measure. The health of your pepper plants depends on many factors, and avoiding soil-borne diseases like verticillium wilt is paramount. And so, our exploration of these pepper planting pitfalls comes to a close. We've seen how the silent interactions between plants, the shared pests, the common diseases, the subtle chemical warfare of allelopathy, can profoundly impact the health and success of your pepper crop. By understanding these relationships, by knowing what to plant next to your peppers, you are empowered to create a more harmonious and productive growing space. The garden is a place of constant learning, and every season brings new observations and new wisdom. What have your experiences been? Have you encountered these issues or perhaps discovered other challenging plant pairings? Please do share your thoughts in the comments below. For more insights into the fascinating world of gardening, for further tips and tricks to help your plants flourish, do consider subscribing to the channel. Together, we can continue to unravel the secrets of the soil and cultivate not just plants, but a deeper connection with the natural world around us. Until next time, happy gardening, and may your peppers be plentiful.